Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. We're a little late getting started here today because she didn't take her Manjaro shot and she tends to be eating over here. Miss Sarah Frazier.
I'm having a little peanut butter toast. Yeah, I eat, honey.
Take your fucking
I ain't on that
Manjaro shot.
Manjaro. No
Well, you should
way.
be.
Mm-mm.
Andy Cohen says the Housewives of Ozempic has started. Knocking
Y'all
on
are
my door,
nuts.
and I am all about that. Forget this eating. We have a show to do. Eating can be for when you retire. Okay.
Well, I like to do all of it, all of the above.
Ugh,
I'm currently licking the peanut butter off of my drawers, Sarah.
some people like to
I'm the
eat.
opposite. I love to eat. And you know what?
I get it.
When you resolve your food issues and you realize the toxicity that's in food and you avoid that, then you can eat what you want when you want in
Guess
small
what?
amounts. Why? Or you just take Manjaro.
I take Manjaro and eat. I had pizza yesterday, and I'm having a good week. The punishment for my week in LA of absolute hell I'm getting graced by the gods this week that I'm feeling good for the most part. I have my relief band on. You get 20% off if you go to reliefband.com. I've had no motion sickness this week. Trust me, each week, the chances of me being sick from Manjaro or motion sickness are like 90%. A or B, they have nothing to do with each other, but I misbehave. I don't wear the relief band. When I wear the relief band, this is not a shameless ad. I truly fucking have motion sickness. I'm actually very healthy. Do you know that? Motion sickness is the one thing I was graced, unfortunately, with.
I
And
know. I hear it's awful when you have it because you're constantly nauseous. Like it's really hard. You feel like you're always on a boat or
let
something.
me tell you something. I'm not, this is really, they are a client. You do get 20% off, but the days I do not wear my relief band because I'm like, oh, I'm going to an event in the Hamptons. I can't be seen with the relief band on. I need to wear a nice watch. Well, shame on me because you literally do this at 1 p.m. and at 9 p.m. when you're going to bed, you still have a headache of epic proportion. It's not even like I get dizzy. It's just the headache from the motion sickness it sounds crazy. For anyone out there that has motion sickness that is not wearing this relief band of mine that I am advertising now, even though I'm not, you're insane because you get 20%. It truly, I don't know how it works. It like calibrates it works.
Right.
Otherwise, the headache, Sarah, I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. So you eat, you enjoy. I don't got no headache today, and I don't got no sickness from Manjaro.
Yep. Okay.
What were you saying? I interviewed Mr. Bo Dietl.
I'm sorry, Bo Dietl, y'all. I mean, tell me everything about Mr. Bo Dietl. By the way, can you give like a really quick refresher? I didn't realize his history. I guess I should have, but he is like uber famous, right? Is he an uber famous NYPD officer, detective, then private detective?
Yes, and yes, he was in Wolf of Wall Street. He was private security for Jordan Belfort during the years. So in the movie where he played himself. Like he's been in a lot of movies. He was just in Godfather of Harlem. Mr. Dietl is Hollywood, okay? But let me tell you something. I just love, listen, I've said this before. I mean, there's a reason I'm friends with Kim D. We'll just leave it at that. I love somebody that can protect you. I don't mean from this bullshit, but finstas, and I mean big picture in the world. You want to mess with me? I got someone, and I'm pulling them out. You can take that any way you
Oh,
want. Now,
yeah.
Bo
It sounds
Dietl
like
is a
you're old
cop, and
school.
I am old school. So I
Old
love
school. What are we? Old school New Jersey mob here? I mean, my God, you sound like you're patrolling the streets. I'm like,
Listen to me. I never use the word mob. Now, Mr. Dietl he tells stories on the podcast, but so
I'm sure.
I just love someone he's straight and narrow, but listen, I ain't getting on Bo's bad side. He can find out anything but anyone. It's a funny interview. You need to listen because he does have such interesting stories, and he would talk about these interesting stories for 15 minutes at a pop and then say, all right, so I guess I should let you ask another question. Like he literally was saying, like I forgot, I think it was Turkey. And he's like, look, my firm doesn't do anything illegal. When you're into, they've said, if you take this child, he was hired to find a kidnapped child
No,
and he
wait,
would
wait.
let,
You told me this, but give me the setup. What was this? Some rich family? The kid was abducted or something and held for ransom, or like what was the deal here?
Basically, I mean, we didn't get into those details, but he was in, I think, Turkey,
Okay.
hired to find a kidnapped child, and is like, you know, they said if I took this child out of the country, I'd be like arrested. Obviously, you can't just take a child out of the country. He's like, did I turn to the policeman and bribe him with $3,000? I mean, I don't do anything illegal, but I probably did that. And he's like, you know what? I could have been thrown in jail for bribing this police officer. But when I landed back in the US, and I had this kid and I returned a kidnapped child that the mother thought she was never going to see again to the mother, it was worth every penny. But let me just, so he would talk, this story now took 15 minutes, and it was so interesting that he was jumping out of a plane and rescuing a child. And he's like, so do you have another question, David? I say, like, well, the night at Avra, when you sat next to Joe and Melissa Gorga for dinner, and you just happen to run into them, and then he would give an answer, and then he would talk about running for mayor of New York and how we're going to have another terrorist attack in New York. And like, let me tell you about the borders, and it's all, oh, no, he said this in no uncertain terms. So he would go into all of this, and I did find it interesting. And he'd be like, so what do you have to say to that, David? I'd be like, well, you know, Andy Cohen said that he didn't believe you and that it's a strange thing for Luis to make up. So, like, are you mad at Andy? So it is turned into kind of a comical interview because, you know, he has such this career, and like, I was interested in hearing about it. But every time I actually got a new question, I'd be like, so are you still speaking to Luis, or are you really mad? It's a funny interview, I think.
Oh my God. I can't wait to hear all this because I mean, the rumor is that Bo Dietl has folders on everybody on the show.
I told Bo Dietl said to me, he said, the reason I said yes to do your show is you said, if you were going to hire someone, you would hire me. And I'm like, I stand by every word of that. I mean, I might be hiring this man in real life for a lot of reasons. He's like, only legal, David. I'm like, I don't want you to do nothing illegal, but there's a lot of people that I might need to have investigated. So I have made a new friend, and
Great. And I'm partners with you. That's scary.
you're partners with me. And listen, then I had another incident today, and I called Kim, and Kim was like, listen to me. Listen to me. You think she's like, no one is going to fuck with you. And let me tell you why. So Kim, I got Kim D and I got Bo on my side. I mean, this is what I like in life.
What sparked that? Is this anything we can discuss? This is
okay.
good.
Listen, it's such a stupid story, but I told you, I have like a big picture mind, right? Like someone's going to fuck with me.
Very genius.
We're doing like lawsuit. Like you don't come for me and like really fuck with me in the world. So like I was on air with Kim and somebody else that I don't want to mention today. It is New Jersey related. And I'm sitting here in my gorgeous Sag Harbor home. And I literally at my front door from where I'm sitting right now